Welcome to Vulnerable Relationships.
I, 36, male, love my wife, 32, female. She's awesome. Our relationship is solid, but she's a very different person than I am. I am, by nature, an organized and process-oriented person. I work as a project manager and my life is focused around structure, planning, deadlines, etc. My wife is the opposite. She's a creative type with a great career in advertising. Nothing about her life is organized, everything is haphazard and somewhat chaotic. But this is what makes her good at her job. I understand and accept that, and have done since I fell in love with her. We're different, and that's a huge part of her awesomeness. She is cool and exciting and brought new things to my life. I love that. The issue? We both have cars. My car has newer and has better tech, but they are similar. But I keep my car clean and tidy all the time. Her car is a mess, with garbage, empty coffee cups, shit rolls around when driving, etc. She hates dealing with it. And because my car is nicer than hers, she prefers to use my car. 3 weeks ago, she was going to a friend's place up in the woods. 5 hours drive. What a girl's weekend. I'm going out for the weekend skiing, 3.5 hours away. We're both leaving at the end of work Friday at 4 p.m. My wife is done, and she leaves. Love and kisses, etc. When I finish at 7:30 p.m., I'm antsy to get going. I go to load my gear, but when I get outside, my car is gone and hers is on the driveway. I thought, WTF, did she take my car? I call her, and we have a fight because I am pissed. I have a ski rack on my roof and the gear doesn't really fit in her car. But she's already 3 hours into a trip up north. I don't want to ruin her weekend by making a big deal about this, so I suck it up. There's no gas in her tank as usual. So I get gas, and as I leave the gas station I get pulled over. I'm just fucking pissed at this point. Cop asks for license and registration, which I am already looking for and can't find. There are tons of papers and receipts, and all sorts of random shit in the glove box and the console. I can't find it. Cop says I pulled you over because your license plate tags are expired. Cop then says the vehicle is registered to wife's name of previous apartment address. She hasn't updated her registration. Cop continues to say, there's also unpaid citations on this vehicle. I have to inform you that I am impounding this vehicle. The cop writes up a ticket, calls a tow truck, and tows it to the pound. Since then, we have had a couple of huge fights about this. I feel that she needs to be more organized, starting with keeping her car legal. To force the issue, I've revoked my wife's usage privileges of my car until such a point we're on more of an equal footing, and she is mad about it. I'm not prepared to budge on it until she takes care of her car situation. So give it to me straight. Any idea about the car?
Comments.
Comment 1. NTA. Wow, she really screwed you over. How can she even be mad at you? She should be apologizing. OP replies. Okay, to be fair, she did apologize profusely when she found out what happened. She's not mad at me, Peresi. I think she's mostly mad at the situation and probably a bit embarrassed, but yeah, it did seriously screw me over. Comment 2. NTA. Curious as to your wife's point of view though. She took your car without asking, probably to avoid the noping, and you end up missing your weekend because of her car, and she's mad because she has to use her own car now. OP replies. Yep, she uses my car all the time and I'm totally fine with it because we're a team and we share everything. She says she simply didn't think about it, and I'm inclined to believe her, because that's true to her character. It's not really an excuse, but she's not the type to deliberately do something secretively that she's known I will disagree with. She's pretty open and we communicate well. In this situation, she fucked up and she knows it, but it's prompted a bigger conversation between us about her being a lot more responsible. Comment 3. Whoa, NTA. The issue isn't the car, it's trust. It's really, really bad that she let you unknowingly drive around in a car she couldn't keep legal. It's human to mess up paperwork sometimes, but you getting busted for her mistakes should have been a major come to Jesus moment for your wife. OP replies. Yep, exactly right, that is what's happening now. It's lucky that nothing serious happened. If there had been an accident, that could have been very bad from a liability perspective. Comment 4. NTA. You guys need to have a talk about her possibly seeing someone for an ADHD assessment. The picture you painted of her and the issues she's having, with the needs with not getting essential things done for the car, are sort of screaming out of control ADHD. To me, this is important because if it's ADHD, it's at a point where it's having a damaging impact on her relationship with you and causing legal issues, and it's not something she's going to be able to deal with without knowledge, help, and tools. Even if she won't go for a diagnosis, you might want to start reading up on it so you can get an understanding for yourself. It doesn't matter how many serious talks you have with her about this if she doesn't have the internal wiring to build more acceptable habits. Seriously, this could be a mental health/disability thing if she knows that's what it is, rather than some sort of moral or character failing. It could be a real relief to both of you. Sincerely, an ADHD woman who once went 1.5 years with expired tags. Update. 8 months later. A lot has happened in the past 8 months. This issue really opened up a huge can of worms, and I am having a hard time knowing what I want to do moving forward with things. Bear with me, this is long. So here's what happened since this post. Important context: we never joined our finances. We have separate bank accounts where pay goes into, and a joint account which we both put our monthly funds to cover joint expenses, and it's been working fine for years. We also have separate accounts for things like cell phones, car insurance, and other stuff we had before we got together. Retrieval of her car. I've never had a car towed before, so didn't really know what to do. And holy shit, this was a complete shit show. I called the number for the impound lot and they informed me that before I could get the car back we needed to pay off all the citations to get the car compliant, etc. Of course, the DMV doesn't open till Monday, so I'm without a car all weekend. Monday we go to the DMV to sort this out. I found out that there are 47 unpaid tickets for my wife's car going back for almost 2 years, which cost over $1,500 to clear out. I was dumbfounded. I almost exploded and asked what the fuck is going on here. And she basically started crying, saying she knew it was an issue but didn't realize it was this bad. She didn't have enough money to pay for the tickets because her credit card is maxed out, which was news to me too. She has a $10,000 credit limit on her card, so I paid it off. Then we tried to change her registration from her old address to our address, which prompted a whole other issue. Her insurance has lapsed. I didn't know this either, so we had to get on with her insurance company to get that sorted out. While going through this process, I discovered that her premium was literally 4 times more than mine, and they insisted on full payment upfront for the 12-month period, which was $4,800. To get everything complete and the car to be released took 3 days. Then we went to the impound to get the car. $375 towing fee, plus a $90 per day storage fee, so $825 needing payment. Again, had to pay because she couldn't afford it. We get home and I'm just fuming. This just cost me $7,000 in a few days. Our first real fight. After we get home from picking up the car, I'm just beyond frustrated and angry at this entire situation. The need to have a clearing of the grievances with her. This blew up over 4 hours to the biggest fight we've ever had. I thought we'd had fights before, but this was different. With a relationship existential, it really opened my eyes to the real issue. That being, I actually don't really know who she is anymore. So many skeletons come out of the closet in this 4-hour roller coaster of emotions. And here's the highlight. Her money situation. I was surprised that her credit card was maxed out. It has a $10,000 limit. She makes great money, about $25,000 more annually than I do. So, a lack of money was unexpected. Then I asked her how much debt does she have in total. At this point, I know of the $10,000 credit card debt I learned about a few days beforehand. I learned that she has 6 credit cards. All of them are basically maxed out. Total credit card debt is $24,000. All with high interest. She also has 3 store cards, all maxed out. Total store card debt is $2,500. I also learned that she had a line of credit for $18,000, also maxed out. She also owes to various friends and family members about $8,000. Her total debt is $52,000. She makes the monthly minimum payments only on everything. At this point, I am shocked and reeling. I can't believe it. I feel physically sick. I didn't know about any of this and am at a total loss as to why I don't know. I don't even know who she is anymore. We've been married 2 years together for 5.5 years. When we moved from dating to a relationship, we had a pretty big talk about core values and what was important to be aligned on before getting really involved. Obviously, things like being exclusive are key. I also said that financial security and being debt-free are very important to me. I made some stupid decisions in my early 20s that hurt me financially, and had to work hard to get out from under that. I said I have 3 pillars that I wanted to build a future with her on. These were deal breakers. If she's not 100% on board, then we shouldn't continue dating because I was falling in love and I didn't want to go further unless there was a future. Cheating in any form is a deal breaker. Financial irresponsibility is a deal breaker. Family, I want to have kids. I reminded her of this in the fight, and she said that I have come on too strong at that point about financial irresponsibility. She already had most of the debt at that point, and decided to not say anything at that moment, which she acknowledged was a mistake because she thought I would have broken up with her there and then. Then she kept hiding it because she wanted to try and rectify it before I found out, but she couldn't. She also pointed out that I never asked her about her financial situation, which is true. I didn't, so that was where we were. At this point, I was pretty upset and I had to leave the house. So I left and went to stay at a friend's house for the night, which ended up being a couple of weeks in the end. The next morning when I woke up, I felt devastated. Had to take some time off work because I couldn't think straight. I kept racking my brain to understand how this happened. How did I not know? How did I not see the signs or evidence? I felt betrayed. It was like I had been cheated on, but somehow worse. I couldn't bring myself to speak to her for the first few days because I was so upset and/or angry. I'm not usually a very emotional person, so this was difficult to process. I would go from rage to tears to rage to despair in a few minutes. I didn't trust myself around anyone to not be a raging asshole. She was blowing up my phone, and asked me to talk to her and come home, but I couldn't. Eventually I asked my friend to call her and tell her to give me some space and time, which she did. But later on that day, I had a brother and both parents also reach out to me to see if they could speak. I politely declined and said I needed time. Obviously she was going through a tough time too and reached out to them for help. The last 6 months have been hard, but we're working through it. We're both committed to that. But I'm still struggling with the enormity of the situation. I still can't help feeling betrayed. I have lost a lot of trust in her, but we're in couples therapy to get through this. She's trying really hard to make it work, correct her mistakes, and work on being a more organized and reliable person. I see that. She's made some real major changes in how she runs her finances. She's taken debt counseling sessions and is following those teachings quite diligently, and being really transparent with her situation. In the last 6 months, she's consolidated all the cards into one loan and canceled all her old cards. The debt is down to $14,000 since this all started. This is all super positive. So I'm hopeful this has a good ending.
Thanks for watching the video. Please consider leaving a like and subscribing. See you in the next video.